I want to share with you 6 strategies to stop your opponent from controlling the ring. I have used these in either sparring or my fights, and I'm going to share them with you today with video footage of me actually doing it. All right, everybody, let me first say that we are going to be focusing on 6 elements of control today. 6 ways to disrupt our opponent and take over that ring, that octagon. But I do not want you to go, okay, I have to focus on all 6. I'm going to learn all of these today. Pick 1 or 2 from this episode that resonate with you and go and drill those. And when they finally feel like, oh, okay, yes, I'm getting these. These are helping me. Then come back to this episode and rewatch and get another 1 or 2. This could be a 3, 4, 5, 6 time viewing episode so you can really get down each of these points. But if certain ones don't resonate with you, disregard them. But before we get to those strategies, a quick word from the sponsor of this episode. Why am I loving AG1? It's very simple. I'm able to replenish my nutrients. I'm able to get the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants. In here we have 75 plus ingredients. And AG1 only sources the best and highest quality ingredients it can find. Things like B12, vitamin A, magnesium, ginger, carrot, renshi mushroom. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Things that I would not be able to put into my body, which are so important day to day. Essentially, it is filling nutrient gaps to keep my body nourished. And that's why I recommend it to all my family, my friends, and all my subscribers. I have a link down below, drinkag1.com/Gabriel Varga. Head over there by clicking the link or by scanning the QR code to get a free welcome kit, including a bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 travel packs when you first subscribe. Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. And I'll just be real with you. When I sit down for a plate of food, I got my beef, my eggs, my yam, cottage cheese, I'm just going, yeah, I'm not getting enough nutrients, enough minerals, enough vitamins, and that's why I'm putting this back every day. All right, controlling the ring. One of the very first things that we need to recognize is kicks are a fantastic way to stop somebody from freely walking forward. Essentially, in my mind, you need a disruption kick. Now, for many people, it could be a variety of things. It could be waiting for the person to come forward, just taking some punches off the gloves and chopping in a low kick. I'm not as big a fan of that one because that puts me at striking range. And I want to be stopping this person before they can hit me. So one of my preferences is to use the lead leg. All right, I'm standing here and I just spring off into the lead round kick. Of course, without the skip or the step through, it's not gonna have that same power, but it does not matter because this person is actually moving into the kick, therefore increasing the power for me. And as long as I remember to keep my legs slightly bent and have them meet the shin, whoop, just boom, they're going to take a decent amount of impact. But the most important thing is you stop them in their tracks. They go to step forward, whoo, they take the shot and they have to reset. And of course, this could come in the form of that lead front kick, that teep, but figure out something. It could be just jamming that round kick off the back leg, a teep there, what I just mentioned, off the front leg. It could be meeting them with a big knee, could be chopping them down. But this disruption with the lower half of your body is essential for making this person not freely move forward on you. Controlling the ring method number 2 is to cut an angle at the end of your combination or midway through your combination. But here's the point where many people struggle on this. They make their connection and then they go to cut their angle and they stay a little bit too close. Or they think, oh, okay, I'm gonna cut an angle, and then they're throwing long shots and they end up, yes, very far at a distance, but the first ones we're not even hitting. We wanna have that ability to hit somebody and then cut the angle and now be outside of range. But it has to be subtle because if you try to take a big, massive step to the side, it takes so much effort and you're so slow at executing that it's not realistic. Small, little, subtle movements like taking a foot, taking a step and pivoting off, that's enough That's all you need. And as I said, it doesn't always have to come at the end of the combo. That's great as well. But making sure that even midway through the combo, you're cutting your angle, whether you follow with a kick or not, it doesn't matter, but it makes this person very difficult to counter. And therefore, they never have that ability to stamp at the end of an exchange, right? Keep in mind, if he's throwing and I'm throwing, very often the judges are going to see the last thing and go, oh, if that was a close exchange, I'm going to give it to the guy who finished it. But if you finish off and you're out of range and this guy has nothing else to give, you could very well be the victor of that exchange. Now, when you are wanting to control your opponent, to back them up, because let's be real, there's not much else that looks more controlling than putting this person against the ring ropes at your will. But that's a scary thing to do. What's going to make this person want to back up, aside from cracking them really hard and hurting them and then they start running? Well, that's great, but easier said than done. What I like to do is take a very high guard and tip my head slightly forward and then start putting the pressure on until I meet their gloves and then start forcing them backwards. Most people hate being at this distance. And once you get to here, they're going to voluntarily back up. And you just keep tracking them until they get their back to the ring ropes. Then you have them. Why is this such a strong position here to go like this and push forward? Well, because they're going to distance themselves where they want to be touching your head. And if I tip forward and they're touching my head, now when they try to punch my body, there's no real threat. It's also very difficult to push me backwards when I've tipped my weight slightly forward, because I'm going to have that ability when they do push to end up here, still be balanced, and then continue forward. But if I pressure forward with my head in between my feet and for some reason they start hitting me, I'm going to get knocked backwards. We don't want to get knocked backwards. We tip forward out of range, and then we start that simple pressure forward. And it's very easy for me as I push forward to switch levels, which means those shots that they're going to throw to try and back me up, there's a good chance those are just going to miss me anyway. But developing that concrete high guard with a slight tip forward and that forwards pressure, oh, that's going to work so well. But let's say you have an opponent who's doing the opposite of what we just talked about. They are pressuring forward and you're going, oh, I feel like I'm backing up too much. I'm giving them control of the ring. We do not want that. So what can we do with an opponent who's overly strong at their pressure? We can stay at this distance. We wait for them to move forward, and once they get within range, I hit them, and then I back up. They're going to keep pressuring forward most likely. I hit them, I back up. After you do that 1, 2, 3 times, they're going to start taking a little moment to reset. What is that moment for you? That's your moment to attack. You wait for them, you stop them. They move forward. You stop them, they stop, bam, 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 and then you wrap them up maybe, or you recreate distance. But when you have those people who just love pushing forward, you don't really have to overthink it. You just go, okay, I'm going to stand here, and as soon as they come forward, I'm going to bang, I'm going to hit them. As soon as they come forward, bang, I'm going to hit them. I prefer to use something that's going to keep them at longer range or will have good power, but man, that's such a good way to stop these aggressive fighters and continue to control the ring, not get pushed back at their whim. Now, when you want to control the ring against a fighter who is very flat-footed, that means they just want to stand here, mostly Muay Thai style, and they want to square off, and they just want to hit, and then you hit, and they hit, and you hit, and you're standing right here. It's almost this gentleman's agreement. When you have somebody like that, and you're like, I don't want to engage in that, or I want to have the edge over this person, I find that staying bouncy on your feet, staying mobile during your movements, you know, you hit, you're gone to the side, you throw a combo, you're off to the side, they start throwing, you're blocking, you're moving, you're letting your feet go up to the balls and maintaining the heel off the ground and just doing this. This is a great way for this person to constantly be frustrated, which is not only giving you that mental edge, but also that physical edge, because you can spring fast. You can move to the side and then attack. Now, this does not mean you have to do this the whole fight. When I fought Kevin Ross, who was very much like this, getting ready to load up and exchange big, I stayed mobile for the first minute. And then as he started getting a little bit frustrated, and he started not really being able to keep up with me, then I planted my feet a little bit more. And I stopped with the bouncy the whole time, and I kind of went more like this. But if at any point I felt like, oh, I was losing control of the match, I would go right back to bouncy, right back to movement, and use the advantage which lies within that fight method. The final tip that I want to give you to control the ring, it's one that people say time and time and time again, but it just doesn't get utilized enough. It's taking that lead arm and just flicking that jab. I move around, even if I'm not touching, I'm getting that range down. If they move forward, I can stop them. I can hit multiple times to set up my next punch. The jab is going to be a massive tool to make sure you control the ring, control the pace, control every element. The reason most people go wrong when they start firing their jab is they're lazy with it. They keep this shoulder down. They punch, so they're exposed to overhands. They don't have their hand come right back to their head after. Maybe they're doing a little bit of a loop, or they're kind of putting it out at 100 miles per hour, but only pulling it back at like 50. Oh, okay. Those mistakes cost you, and they make you not want to jab. But when you can have that lead arm pumping out, firing, it's going to give you so much control, so much reason for this person to feel threatened very often. And to have shots missing, to have the inability to start the combo when they want, it's one of the ultimate ways to control. But again, general mistakes in technique stop you from being able to execute this freely. So if you can do everything I said today, or not even everything, if you can pick one or two things to focus on over the next couple months and incorporate this into your game, I am very confident that this will help you control the ring, control the match, and get more victories, whether you're sparring or you're just in the gym and you know, oh yeah, I won that round. That's all, guys. I'll see you back here soon again.